Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Open Boat. Now today I'm going to show you guys how to modify your fluke rig when you're fluking off the surf. Now there's a lot of times when a fluke bite, they can be finicky, so presentation is everything. So there's a lot of times when you have to come prepared, you got to be ready to build up your rig. So let's get started with the basics here. I have my leader material here. I have it a little bit thicker just so you can see it, but usually I do 20 to 30 pound when I'm fluking off the surf. And this is your top. You're either uni knot connected to your braid or you have a barrel swivel attached to your braid. Now at the very bottom, you just have a loop here and you can either do a bucktail or a sinker, but we're going to start with the bucktail route first. We'll get into the sinker after when we modify the rig. So here I have a Magic Tails Hoochie jig in glow, and we're just going to feed the leader through the eyelet. We're going to wrap it around, and we're going to attach the jig to the rig. So once that is attached, you can literally just fish that. That could be your whole rig right there, because when you're fluking off the surf, you don't need a lot of weight and you want it to flutter and jig as you go fishing down the surf. So that's one option right there. Now, to modify it even more, you can do, of course, you can change the bucktail, you can do a jig head, you can do a hair bucktail, whatever floats your boat. This is the fun of tying your own rigs. You can find stuff that works best for you and what works best for the fish. So a little ways up from your bucktail, you're gonna do a dropper loop. So if you remember a couple episodes back, we were doing how to tie knots and stuff like that. So the dropper loop, you're gonna take it, pass it over, and you're going to make a little loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take the big loop, pass it through the little loop, and then pull with your teeth. And pull with your hands too. That creates a dropper loop. Look at that, perfect. So, what you can put on this dropper loop. This is the fun part of accessorizing a rig. Of course, you have your hook. I like to use a bait holder hook when you're fluking off the surf. 3 or 4-0. When I'm on the boat, I do a 6-0 bait holder hook. I could put that on there, but another modification, before I put the hook on there, I have these handy dandy little things. They are called Tsunami hollow teasers. They're super lightweight. There's literally like no weight to them at all. And what you could do is they have a little hole on their like nose here. You feed your leader material through, and that just flutters at the end of your dropper loop right there. And then you have the space here to add your hook onto the bottom. So you have that going for you, which is nice as a teaser. Now, another modification, because fluke, believe it or not, can be picky, and I have experienced this before, where that rig doesn't work. I literally take the bucktail off the bottom and I put just a little bank sinker on there. And I have up at the top that dropper loop, I have either a naked teaser hook or I put the hollow teaser on, and it works. You just have to, fluking off the beach, I mean, fishing off the beach in general is such a labor of love. You got to put your time in and really make it work. But fluking off the beach is such a challenge. Stay tuned for next week's Open Boat when I give you helpful tips on that when we hit the surf. But you got to put your time in and make it work. And sometimes you're going to have to modify your rigs. It's not going to be, oh, this is perfect, I'm going to catch fish on this. Sometimes you got to take the bucktail off, put a jig head on. Take the bucktail off, put a sinker on, put a naked teaser hook up on the dropper. Put a hollow teaser on the dropper. Change my bait color if you're using gulp or bait mule or whatever bait you're using. Sometimes it's trial and error, but when you make it work, it's even more rewarding. Now, like I said, stay tuned for next week's Open Boat, and I'm going to take you on the beach, and hey, maybe the week after that we can take you fishing. Who wants to go fluke fishing with me? I know I want to go fluke fishing, so why don't we do that? Everyone, enjoy the holiday. Happy 4th of July. Go out there, get some fish. Don't get sunburned and enjoy the holiday weekend. And I'll see you guys on next week's Open Boat.